Hey guys, by the way, I don't have the rights to the music in the background. Listen, one of you guys in the group were asking the other day how to deal with fingers and how to find out you have fingers and you need to shrink a roll up glass, okay? Well, here is my take on it. Of course, a lot of people gave you good answers over there. It's a little bit of experience, a little bit of investigation, but you can easily handle this if you do this, okay? This is the 22 IS, Lexus IS 350, if I'm not mistaken, which is, it's a pretty round. This is the 350, okay? Lexus IS 350. You can see that the glass is pretty round and it bows on both sides, horizontal and vertically. So here's what I do to take care of this situation, all right? When I get my film from my board, okay, and bring it to the car, what I'll do is I'll put it up a little higher and I'll squeeze it on the glass, like on the rainbow motion. And if fingers form over here in the bottom, that means I need to shrink. You can see over here, I did it on this one, and you can see two large fingers and two smaller fingers. Now, of course, this film still has the liner. It is outside. It's much easier to shrink this film when it's on the outside like this, okay? So that's one way of dealing with it. And you can easily take care of that by just shrinking it. No big deal. Now, there's different ways you can approach this. You can, and the easiest way, actually, there is an easier way. But before you take the liner off and apply this film and have to deal with the shrinking on the inside, it's much easier to shrink while it's on the outside, okay? And of course, over here I'm dealing with a film that shrinks very easily, but you can see that while it's on the outside, it's very easy to take care of the issue, okay? So this is one way of taking care of it, and make sure that no fingers will form when I put this film on the inside of this car. But there is an even easier way to deal with this, and I'm going to show you how I deal with it most of the time, okay? So instead of shrinking over there on the car, what I do is usually I get my film that I figure it's going to need a little bit of shrinking, and I'll bring it to the board after I do my final cutting, my trimming of the top. If I am not plotter cutting, I'll bring it to the board, and here's what I'll do. I'll let this thing heat up a little bit. I'll go inside over here, and I'll shrink over here on the board. That's it, 10 seconds. And there will be no fingers when I bring it to the car. So when I apply inside of the car. So keep that in mind. But there's also a couple other things that you need to keep in mind, and I'm going to try to explain to you here. Okay? Perhaps you're dealing with a car that there would be no fingers there. But sometimes what happens is, as you apply the tint on the car, so let's make believe this tint it's on the car. I've seen people make a very simple mistake, okay? And the mistake is when they're shrinking after they anchor the top and get it out nice and put the glass up, when they're shrinking this way, okay? Down. So what happened is you're pulling the film this way inside. And of course, if there was no fingers now, you're creating fingers. So you're creating problems for yourself. What I do when my top is done and I put the glass up, I go from center to edge and I shrink and I squeeze it this way. You see the position of my squeegee. When I'm going that way, my squeegee is going this way. When I'm going that way, my squeegee is going that way. So what I'm doing is I am stretching the film that way and I'm stretching the film this way instead of bringing it to the center and creating fingers. What I'm doing is if there was going to be any fingers, what I'm doing is I am stretching the edges of it so that fingers will not come up. And worst case scenario, last thing to do is You didn't shrink on the glass, you didn't shrink on the board, and when you squeegee on the car, fingers came up, just shrink them. All right? Bye-bye.